Hi, how's everyone doing? I'm Nate. You guys know that. You've heard from me a couple times in reviewing the first couple of Wheel of Time books. I'll get back to that eventually. I've just kind of caught up to where I'm reading. I'm only a book ahead of what my next review will be on. Because, yeah, Shadows Rising, I think it's. No. I still have to do book three, I think. I don't think I did that. So yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think my last one I did was Great Hunt. I should check that. But yeah, I've been busy. I got moved into the fraternity I'm living in for this semester. And I put this flooring in. I went clothes shopping, and yet for some reason I'm still wearing my crappy trash free T-shirts that I got in high school. Uh, but yeah, I've been busy. College started this week, but it's syllabus week, so I can do whatever I want. So I have the free time to finally record a video. So yeah, um, I've been watching a lot of cartoons lately. With Avatar: The Last Airbender getting put on Netflix. That was like 2 months ago. I watched that, and finally they put Korra up, and I'm gonna do a review for that. I'm probably gonna do it in two parts because I was going to do it in four, do each of the seasons, but I kind of ended up starting the second season. The second season is really interesting, so I want to finish up that uh, before I give a review, divide that into two parts. But another cartoon that I hadn't realized had come out with another season that I really loved the first season of was Harley Quinn. Um, I I don't know if it classifies as a guilty pleasure because I think it's a really good series. I haven't looked at any reviews for it, so I don't know what other people think of it, but I know I love it. One, I always love the idea of Harley Quinn finally breaking away from her abusive relationship with the Joker. Like, that's always a good plot. Whenever you have, the abused win in a plot line, like 10 out of 10. Uh, I love that, because that's probably one of the deepest, darkest places you can be in. And in order to escape that, like, it takes so much willpower and strength, and like, it's always impressive to see that, even if it is just fiction. Uh, but yeah, I watched the second season. I'm trying to remember how it opens. I binge watched it in the last 24 hours, basically. And yeah, it's interesting, to say the least. I really liked. I liked the Ivy Harley relationship. I feel like it developed really naturally, because it was hinted at in the first season that, oh, there might be romantic interest here, and I wasn't sure, when I started getting to the climax, especially with the Bachelorette episode, where it felt almost like they were going to try and force it, but I feel like how they naturally developed, the relationship, it actually worked, where it was Ivy, in the end, it really was Ivy wasn't right for Kite Man. I I liked them together. I thought that was really cute. Like, Kite Man, 10 out of 10, great guy. Like, um, I also have to say, like, Ivy is one of my favorite characters, like, in the DC universe. So obviously, I want the best for her, and like, seeing how Kite Man treated her, like, it was so good. It really was. With him, you know, doing all the things that he does for her, like growing and developing, and kind of growing up, because before that he was that typical single bachelor living on his own, doesn't take good care of himself, and then finally he meets the right girl and he kind of grows up, becomes an adult, and like, I really liked that. And I really liked Kiteman with Ivy, but I think their decision in the end with Kiteman being like, wow, this isn't right. Like, uh, you know, Ivy just isn't right for me. And like, that was so powerful. Like, the idea of a man, because as a man, I feel like it's so rare for me to feel like I can do better, because my self-esteem is so low, and I feel like that's really common in men specifically, in feeling that they can do better, because it's very rare that you hear a man be told he deserves better. Um, I don't know. That's just me. I don't read a lot of relationship stuff, so I may be wrong. Um, but yeah, it's just I really liked the climax. I liked that ending. I don't know how I feel about Ivy with Harley in general, because like I don't know. It's kind of like the one joke that they made about Dr. Psycho. Are you a 13-year-old boy? Like, I don't know if it's that little bit of, teenager in me where it's just like, yeah, two attractive women dating each other, or if it's actually like I feel like, you know, they're a good couple. Because like it kind of references the video that I just recorded with Ben and Jesse, where I actually really like the idea of a strong, independent woman where they don't need a relationship or they don't have a relationship. Like, I like characters by themselves, just being by themselves and growing as a person by themselves. Um, so yeah, let's talk about the conflict now with Dr. Psycho. Well, the whole thing starts and it's all right. Gotham's broken up. You have the four groups. Doctor Freeze, Penguin, or no, it's five? Yeah, Riddler, Bane, and Two Face. Uh, and like, I cried with the Doctor Freeze plotline, because that story is when that hits me hard, because it's so sweet. It's so cute how it literally is like a villain for love, almost like it's not him being a villain because he it's not like the other people where Cobblepot, he just is a villain because he wants power, or uh Two-Face because he wants power, or the Riddler because he's psychotic. Bane, I would say, like, I don't know, in this it's more Bane just wants almost like an anarchical society where everyone can do what they want to do and grow to be the best of them, which is hilarious, and I love that so much. Um, but yeah, is like Dr. Freeze, it breaks my heart because he is a genuinely good person who just wants to cure his wife. And he does, and that's amazing. And I love that plot point. I love his wife coming along on the bachelorette party, and like moving on, because I feel like, yeah, if your significant other dies, especially at a young age like that, I'm pretty sure she's what, in her 30s. Like, yeah, definitely she needs to move on. I think it was a little comical how they did it, and I would prefer if she had moved on for love rather than it being lust like it was. But still, like, it was nice to see her move on. It's kind of a natural part of living life. Um, but yeah, any other major plot points? Like Harley Quinn being badass. I mean, what more can you ask for? Like, that happens every season, every episode. Like, it's great. I just love Harley Quinn going bananas, basically, and just killing people and being cool and being badass. Yeah. I think that basically sums it up. It was a really cool series. I think the second season was actually better than the first. Because like the first season, it was very much like it was a growth season where it was Harley getting out of her relationship and like finally realizing, oh, I need to be me. I'm not defined by my relationship, which is a fantastic message. And what is with this man? Which is obviously a fantastic message. Like, anytime you can send that message of being like, you are you, be yourself, and do what makes you happy. Like, that's a great message. Anytime you can send that, you should send that as a message as a writer. Um, and yeah, I really liked a lot of it. Um, and like the Joker plot was really funny, with him finally settling down with a suburban mom. Like that was cool, and I loved the little bit of Spanish thrown in there. Like I thought that was cool. Multiculturalism is cool. Um, and yeah, I'm trying to think like if there was anything I really didn't like. Um, I mean, like I talked about in the pit episode, or not the pit episode. It was more the Bachelorette episode where it felt like they were kind of forcing Ivy and Quinn together, which I was a little nervous about. And then I think they really did do a nice job of making it so that way. It was like, no, this is actually them working together in a way to realize that this really is the best route forward for themselves. Um, and yeah, overall, it was a really good season. I don't think there's going to be a third season because I think the way that they ended that one was really well done. And I don't know what plot points you could really bring in because, like, you have Clayface and King Shark are still in crew, but, like, I don't know. I think there are some things that they want to do still. Like, I think they want to probably do an arc where, oh, Kiteman's moved on and Ivy is jealous or something like that. I honestly think, from what I've seen, that would be something that the writers would want to do. Personally, I don't think I'd care for it, especially if they did do it that it was Ivy is jealous because I don't see Ivy being the type to get jealous. But yeah, I don't see a third season. I really don't. I think they ended this perfectly. And if they tried to push for another season, it just kind of would fall flat. I don't see them taking this anywhere that's actually meaningful or impactful, like the previous seasons were, where you had oh, someone who was abused and in a controlling relationship growing out of being in the shadow of their significant other and eventually rising up, becoming their own person and defeating their abuser. And then the second season having it that taking it a little further and taking this person who's chaotic and evil and completely, well, not evil because she's kind of chaotic neutral, is how Harley is portrayed in this series, and taking her, making it so that way, you don't always have to be chaotic. You can have some organization. You can stop and see things and make decisions rather than just going and going and going and never stopping. Uh, and then, yeah, I think everything's kind of wrapped up. I think if they did another season, it wouldn't have good plot. I think it would be disconnected episodes that would just be stupid little things like, oh, Clayface is going to do an episode where he's in a Tim Burton movie, or like I said earlier, with Kiteman moving on. I think it's going to be stupid little episodes like that normally are like filler, and I don't think it would be good. I think end it here. It was a great ending, great season, and I'm happy to see it. It makes me even more excited for the Suicide Squad game that's coming up. Makes me more excited for a lot more DC projects. I mean, always DC is pretty good with their animated stuff versus their uh, live action stuff. I mean, oof, Justice League was bad, and Batman v Superman was even worse. But Yeah, I think this is a really good start, and I think that DC can do a lot more, and I think this could be the return of things like Batman the Animated Series, where it's DC writing fantastic plot in an animated series and getting their characters out there in a way that's enjoyable. Uh, I'm just rambling at this point. I mean, this is my third video I've made, so I'm not that good at wrapping up. But I appreciate you for watching. Check me out on Twitch, Twitter, whatever. Make sure to watch Ben and Jesse's content too.